Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute. I went on a little bit of a hiatus. I just, had some things that I was kind of processing and experiencing, but we are back and we are ready and we are better than ever to get going. I have a wonderful guest with me today that is here to kind of discuss his experience with addiction and opiates. And this is my friend Rob. Rob, let's pull you in here. How are you, Rob?
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you.
You
I'm happy
too.
to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. I want to start by telling you how much I really appreciate the work that you're doing in this community. You are just, our community is so grateful to have somebody like you because you're just so neutral.
Yeah, thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And you just pushing out those shows, Rob. I mean, we're loving every minute of it. So
I know. I like to stay busy because I figure like if I'm gonna do podcasting full time, like which I am right now, like I feel like I owe it to like the audience, and then I like to. It's just like a thing, like you know what I mean. Like I feel like I like to stay. I don't know if that makes
you've
any
been on
sense.
a grind for a while. How long have you been on a grind? So Rob has a podcast. It's called the Typical Skeptic Podcast, and he's on all platforms. Do you want to introduce your podcast?
Yeah, so it's called the Typical Skeptic Podcast, and I talk about alien abduction, military abduction, secret space program, targeted individuals, black ops programs. But then I also talk about regular UFOs, UFO sightings, reincarnation, near death experiences, like the whole everything like esoteric or spiritual or anything weird, paranormal, all that stuff. I love
the,
talking about it.
the best topics ever to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the woo. I love the woo. I'm so grateful that I came across your work. I think it's been a couple of years now, and you and I kind of connected a little bit more. I had won an Anunnaki T-shirt, and then we just kind of got to know each other a little bit. And then when I decided to come off of Suboxone, I kind of started posting about it a little bit, and you had reached out to me. And you had mentioned that you too were on Suboxone as one at one time. Did you want to kind of get into that a little bit? Where
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to tell my whole story or like what? Like, I mean, it's a lot of war stories, but I don't know, like, where do you want me to start?
Well,
You
I just want to start by thanking you, and I know I already did that once because I know this topic can be an interesting one to discuss. So wherever you feel most comfortable. So for me, Rob, everybody's different, but for me, I went through a lot of trauma at a young age, and I really didn't have the coping mechanisms to deal with that. And when I was prescribed, and I partied all the time, but then whenever I had my son, and I was prescribed Vicodin after having a C-section, that was it. I felt like I found the solution to all problems. I could take care of my kid. I could take care of my household. I could numb the pain from the trauma with the Vicodin and just, get going. And so that's where it all started for me. And so,
That was
yeah,
me too. That was the
is that
same exact same drug. It was but like mine was like mixed with like other drug. Well, I'll explain everything.
okay?
So,
Yeah.
I'm 44 years old. So I was in the mortgage business for 10 years, like when in my 20s. Like so, from like 2001, from the time I was 21 until the time I was 29 or 30, I was a pretty successful mortgage broker. I worked my way up. I was a telemarketer. I started off at the low end of the totem pole as a telemarketer, and then I worked my way all the way up to be a senior loan officer. So I was like, I had a really good job. You know what I mean? I think I was working at Wells Fargo when I got laid off in 2010. But what happened was, so like in 2000, I think it was 2005, when I was like 25, like my friends like started like messing around with like Darvocet and Vicodin, and they thought it was just fun to like take, just to like take. So obviously we would take it to party and stuff like that, and then it started turning into more, but like nobody really thought of it of being addicted, at that point. But then what happened with me was it started like it turned into like a couple of years, and then in 2010, so 5 years later, I had a really bad couple of years, and then in our community they call it your Saturn return. When you turn 30, they say you have your Saturn return, or your dark night of the soul. When it seems like a lot of like crazy things happen for you astrologically, and what happened was I was driving. It was New Year's Eve, 2010, and I was driving my girlfriend's car at the time. Like my car was in the shop, and basically what happened was I wasn't intoxicated at the time when this happened. But this all leads to something. So I was driving up this road in my town where I lived, and some guy jumped in front of my car and killed himself.
Oh,
It was more like he speared. I would say he like speared himself into my blind spot, because I was driving up the road, like I didn't realize that anything happened, and then I felt something hit the car, and then I was like, "What the hell was that?" And I got out, and there was a guy laying there, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is horrible." And then there was like this big investigation. It was like 6 months long.
wow.
The police found out that he had been in the bar all day. He was saying that he was going to kill himself or someone else that night. He was, I guess he was like estranged from his family, and he was on drugs himself. He was
Mhm.
like, he was, and he was just like really like, I guess he was like really like upset with his life, and he wanted to take it out on the world, or I guess end it, and I guess what happened is he also tried jumping in front of other people's cars, because I guess when people saw my name in the paper, they came forward to the police and they said that
Oh,
that he tried jumping in front of their cars too. You know what I mean? So
oh,
it was really crazy. But needless to say, like that only furthered my addiction, because dealing with that, it was crazy. It was so hard to deal with. You're thinking in the back of your mind, like, am I going to go to jail for something I didn't even do? You know what I mean? Because
gee,
I knew I wasn't wrong, but I
right.
didn't know how the system was going to look at it. You
And
know what I
not
mean?
just that, Rob. I mean, that's just something to experience in itself. Good grief. I mean, so whenever he plunged his self out at you like that, I mean, so did you get out and like see him on the ground, or like did you?
Yeah, I did. And what was scary was I mean, what was I think I saw a soul leave his body. I
Oh,
really do, because like
yeah.
he was like laying there, and then I saw his like ribs contract up, and I saw his soul leave his body. And this is before the paramedics or anything even got there, and I knew right then and there it was over. I was like, oh wow, this is really bad. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Wow.
so it turned into like a 6 month investigation, and the police officer called me, and he said they found me innocent, and but it's still like messed me up, because it weighed on my conscience, because I didn't understand at the time. I was like, how could someone do this to me? You know what I mean? Because at the same time, I still felt responsible, even though I know now that I wasn't responsible. You just still feel like I was involved. So
Of
it's not,
course.
it doesn't, you don't feel right. It like weighs on your soul. So
Mhm.
that even furthered my addiction. Then what happened was this all happened. These events that I'm about to tell you all happened from 2010 to 2012. Then I had this ex girlfriend. Her name was Carly,
Mhm.
and she was like the type of girl that she could be like your best friend. You know what I
Okay.
mean? She was my best friend. But like then like we used to date in high school, and then we met around this time, and we found out that we were both using, and then we started partying together, and then I knew her dad like real well. Like her dad knew like my cousin, and they used to hang out and stuff. And I was hanging out a lot with my cousin back then, and everybody was into bad shit. Needless to say, like, but
Well, do you mind that
she
I ask what y'all were using?
uh, opiates,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
and and
Regular, whatever. Just opiates, opiates, and opiates, and opiates.
but like I wasn't just using it. I was like, I was doing other stuff too. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I was involved pretty heavy.
Right.
It wasn't just opiates. It was coke too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Been there. Hmm.
and then what happened was this. But then I decided to like I decided to, there was one point where I was like, I'm gonna start getting my life together, and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I didn't want this anymore. But then what happened was Carly. She wanted to be with me, but I was with this other girl, and I told her I couldn't be with her. So I introduced her to my friend Mike, and I thought that she'd be safe there, because she was getting into bad stuff in my hometown. Because in my hometown, there's places where it can be like really decent and it could be really bad. Like there's some real ghetto areas where a lot of people who are addicts hang out, and she was like starting to hang out in those places. So I felt like she was safe because I couldn't be with her. I felt like, if I introduced her to this kid Mike, it would be good for both of them, because then they both had each other and they could live out in the country and everything would be okay. Well,
Right. Right.
then they found her dead and she died. Yeah, and they found her like slumped over a table, and her tongue was like 10 times the size. I don't know if she had a brain aneurysm, but her and this kid Mike were they were mixing like methadone with benzodiazepines, which is like lethal. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Of course.
lethal. And then things only got worse. So after that, then my uncle, who I was really close with, because my dad died when I was 21. My dad died of cancer. Um, he was staying out at my cousin's house, and he killed himself. So this is like all between 2010 to 2012, all these events, and I was just getting hammered with stuff. And then on top of that, both my grandmothers
you just
died
kept
too.
medicating. I don't mean to interrupt you, but all of these experiences just kind of gave you, you just all this trauma. You were medicating, you were suppressing and numbing with whatever it was, with opiates.
Yeah, just mostly with opiates. Yeah,
Okay.
but then I met some kid who he was my friend, and he was going to a doctor, and he told me, he's like, dude, he's like, you need to get on Suboxone. He's like, because like your life's not going in a good direction. And I was like, that's probably a good choice. And then I got on Suboxone, and then I was on it for like a long time, and it was like,
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to dig into just a little bit. So you went from taking the opiates. So yours was like pain pills, correct?
Yeah.
And would you say that getting on that Suboxone helped you some, or do you, because, it's a controversial topic, right? Because I feel like it has helped a lot of people, but, I was taking 15, 20 Vicodin a day, and I thought that one Suboxone versus the 15, 20 Vicodin a day made a lot more sense. But I also know people that have come off of heroin and come off of Suboxone, and they said the withdrawal off of Suboxone is far worse than heroin, is far worse than any pain pill. So I guess my question to you is, were you just going through a hell of like a significant amount of pain pills a day that led you to taking the Suboxone once?
My thing was Roxy 30s. You know what I mean?
In there. Yep.
And that was like, they were like they were like the best, like,
oh, yeah.
and I have to wonder if this was somehow like done to us on purpose. Like, like they say, like if you listen to like a lot of like the people say that like I think it was Dan Willis actually who said that the Fourth Reich like planned to infiltrate America. And they wanted to kind of like corrupt America, like after, World War II and stuff like that, when they said Germany didn't lose the war. Or you have to think that some outside force, if not them, maybe some kind of aliens or something did this, because it seems like everybody, that's what I like when I was thinking about doing this today. I was like, I was really nervous because, you see me, I do like, I have done like 1,300 podcasts now.
Yeah.
This what I was really nervous about, because it's really personal, and I don't know how people are gonna, I don't know how people are gonna look at me. But then I realized I think it's important to tell my story, because I think everybody's going through this. I think it's not just you and I. It's like hundreds of thousands of people, and it's actually to a point where it's causing people to go homeless. You know what I mean? Because people are on heroin and fentanyl, and they're losing their homes, and they're sleeping in tents, and they're shooting up drugs and dying.
That's right.
It's causing a homeless epidemic. It's causing it's bad. It's really bad. It's like a really bad thing in our country, So I feel like if I can share my story, maybe it can help someone.
I couldn't agree with you more, Rob, because you are a public figure, and people do know you in the community. And there are a lot of people in our community that are either fighting or have fought this battle. They're not comfortable, and that's okay. It's not, but we're here to kind of share our stories, to show people that you can literally come from hell and just, you can change. You gotta have the courage to do so, and I really appreciate you coming on here. And you know what, Rob, it took me a long time. I had to really, really dig deep. because I've done a lot of messed up stuff. I mean, and when, it's funny because you're reluctant to, a lot of people are reluctant to speak things. I mean, Rob, I've shot up, I've smoked crack, I've done it all. I mean, I've done it all. And I am here to speak of it, so that, just the judgment around it all. We really got to change it. And you had mentioned a little bit that you think that the opioid epidemic was done on purpose. Do you know anything about that in the Sackler family? Do you know anything about how they marketed oxycodone?
No, what is that? I'd love to. I mean, I heard a little bit. The Sackler family, they're like one of they're one of the more prominent families, like the Rothschilds or something. And
Right.
they're what do you know about that?
So the way that they were promoting oxycodone was just disgusting. I mean, they were marketing certain areas. So they were selling it like they weren't telling people it was addictive. They were like, it's, it is going to save your life. People who are in chronic pain, like they're making it some drug, some miracle drug, when really it is very, very, very addicting. They were giving doctors bonuses. They were paying people to go hit up all the doctors' offices all throughout the country. There were pill mills. I mean, when I was in Houston, there were mills. The pill mills popped up like clinics, popped up all over Houston.
They had that here in Pittsburgh too. I remember I went to a doctor that was like that, and also I heard about Florida where it was real bad because everybody, that was like the honeypot was Florida. Yep. Like supposedly, like they're like, oh, you can go to Florida and get anything, and like, yep. So that was a big thing, and you have to wonder like, why was that happening, like it doesn't make any sense. It's like someone was trying to like, it's like turn the country into like chaos and like they corrode it from the inside like a cavity or something.
If you look into this opioid epidemic, and so in the late 90s they started prescribing opiates and telling people that they weren't addicting. So, and they were just handing these oxycodone out like candy. I mean, I was in my early 20s and I was able to go to these clinics with no MRI, with no CAT scan, and get 120 Vicodin, 120 Somas, and 60 Xanax. And not just me and my mom would go. I mean, it was just, these pill mills were popped up all over Houston. I don't care what anybody says, it was an attack on the people. You should definitely check out Painkiller. You should check out The Pharmacist as well. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I will. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it'll kind of dig into it a little bit. So, what is it that you know about Florida? I actually went to a rehab center there in Florida, and you are right. It was like just shit there. I mean, the way that these rehab centers were running was not ran to be successful. I mean,
there's a lot of transients, and there, I mean, that was like, I feel like that was like where like the transient movement started. Like, and you know what I mean? Like by transients, like a person who goes from house to house. Like I was like seeing this. I know this is off topic, but I went down to in 2006. I had a good job. I was still messing around with like drugs, but like I was more like, it wasn't bad then. So I was like going on surf trips a lot. I was going to like North Carolina, Jersey, all over the East Coast. Now me and my friend, we would go surf, and I went to visit my friend in Florida. And that's when I saw it for the first time, like how bad some people were down there. And the pill epidemic was just insane down there, and the girl I knew was a transient. She was going from place to place, and she was on pills, and she was like telling me about it, like how bad it was. It was like, so I kind of got a little bit of a firsthand experience. I never went to one of the pill mill places myself, but I just saw people that were kind of involved in it.
So in 2016, I started researching all of this when I was going through chemotherapy. And in 2016, I wrote a paper about the opioid epidemic. And in 2016, enough Vicodin was prescribed in this country that every single American could have hold a 30-day supply of Vicodin in 2016. That's how much they were pushing out this drug.
Wow.
That's insane. And then what they did was they started pushing these meds out. They started pushing all of these opiates out, not educating the public, not educating anybody that they are addicting, getting everybody addicted, and then flipping the script and saying, oh, we're just addicts. You know what I mean? We're the ones that we're addicted. We're just drug addicts searching for drugs. No, that's not the case. It was the way that they marketed this drug and the way that they just handed it out to everybody. It's just disgusting. So I have a
because they
question.
ruined a lot of people's lives. Think about where our lives. Well, maybe I think I'm not. I'm saying that because I was thinking like maybe everything happened for a reason. Maybe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You never know. But I feel like I don't know because I feel like if I wouldn't have made certain choices, like certain choices led me to start my podcast, which I'm happy about, and but I also could be a lot more successful too if it wasn't for things that happen. So I don't know how to think about that. I mean I know what I think, but I mean it's yeah. Well,
I truly feel like all of our experiences have shaped us to be the people that we are today. I don't think I would change anything just because it shaped me to be who I am today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about that. It was definitely a rough ride because I got off of Suboxone. I jumped off of Suboxone back in December. And today has been 2 weeks that I have been free and clear of kratom or anything. So I am 2 weeks of completely clear of any opiate in my system, which is such a big deal because I fought that battle for 20 freaking years.
Wow. See, I still use the kratom because
So that's
yeah.
what I kind of wanted to ask next, if you didn't mind, because I was too, Rob. I mean, I jumped off of Suboxone and I used kratom kind of help ease the process, because it feels like when you are coming off of opiates, like you are lead, like you have no energy. It's just like lead. Once you get past like the sweating withdrawal, then it's just a lack of energy from it being suppressed for so long. But I'm telling you, like there are some times that I'll like dance around and I'll do little things that I used to do. And like the energy that comes flowing through my body is so much. And I'm not used to it because it's been so suppressed from the Suboxone for so long that I'm like, okay, it's just going to take a little time to get used to. So you're still taking kratom, Rob? Are you still?
Yeah.
Do you mind that I ask? How did you get? I mean, you're not on Suboxone anymore?
No.
Did your doctors give you shit about coming off of it?
No.
No.
I mean, it's just like, it was just like my choice. But then, the kratom is like, just like, I don't know, like it's. They're one of my affiliates, so like it's easier for me to get the kratom,
Okay.
But I mean, like, I don't know, like, I don't really want to be on that either,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so do you mind that? Are you just kind of using it to kind of keep you level from being off of the Suboxone or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you mind that I ask how long has it been for you?
About a couple months. I would say
Okay.
a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it took me like 7 months. I mean, it took me about 6 or 7 months. And it just, it's just a process and everybody's going to be a little bit different. So, and kratom did help me. That's a controversial topic as well. So
yeah, it's weird. Like I get people like, because I don't advertise it much. I just put the link there for people that need it. And then I'm like, well, but some people like give me shit about it. They're like, you shouldn't be advertising that. That's really bad for people. But I'm like, well, you don't know like the good it can do for people
right.
too. Like, It's like when people have no choice, like it's like, like some people will go back to addiction if they don't have that, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a weakness. It's just like it's a chemical imbalance. You know what I mean? It's like people have a chemical imbalance. It's like,
that's right. People don't really understand that. Well, it can also be used for like a painkiller of sorts, like I had a little UTI and I just used a little scoop and it did help, but it is very, very addicting. It is very addicting. But when you are coming off of opiates, cold turkey is just not, it's not doable.
It's not possible. It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
So you've been down that road. Have you been down the cold turkey road? When was it for you that you realized that, holy shit, these are addicting? I'm feeling like shit. Why am I feeling like shit? I mean, did you have that experience?
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, that was back in like 2010. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2012, like when all the bad stuff happened. Because
Uh-huh.
then my life like really like started like taking a turn for like the worst. Like in my 30s, like I mean, like I basically didn't have like. I mean, I had some good experiences in my 30s, but it wasn't like the way it could have been. You know what I mean? Because of like all the trauma that happened to me and like and the addiction. Like I missed out on a lot, you know, and I there was a point where I had to take like, you know, like really shit jobs because of, you know, because like I was balancing out my addiction and like, you know, just couldn't find a good job. So like, you know, I was working here and there and everywhere and like
Mhm.
nothing was really working out. And like, it was just like, you know, it was messed up, man. Like, that's why I have such a, like a passion for this because like I've been through it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel for anybody that's going through it because like it's not the way I don't, you know, it's horrible, you
Yeah.
know?
It really is. Yeah, it really is. Thank you for that, Rob. I really appreciate that. So, I mean, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm trying to think of what I really want to kind of get into here. And so you said about 6 months, because I remember talking to you and telling you that I was on Suboxone, and you were like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, what? And then just the more that I talked about it and the more that I put myself out there, the more people that were coming telling me that they were on it too, that they wanted to get off of it. I had one lady that was like, I didn't even realize I was taking it until you posted about it. I went in my pantry and I looked at the prescription that I was taking, and sure as shit, that's what I was taking. She had no idea. She had told me that the doctor didn't even educate her on the fact that it would be addicting. And she went all weekend without it and was sick as a dog. And you know how that goes.
Yeah, I think it even might have caught. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like right now I've been dealing with a problem that like I just I went to the doctors this morning and I don't even want to I don't even like want to go to mainstream medical, but like at this point I'm like, well, I don't know what's wrong with me. So I have like I've been complaining about it a lot on my show. Like I have like this like under my right side on my where my liver is or gallbladder or whatever, I keep getting this like sharp stabbing pain. And like I don't know. It happened like 3 months after my breakup. It came out of nowhere and it just started like hurting. And then
Mhm.
I got all these tests done last year. Like, again, I didn't want to go through mainstream medical. They put me through a CT scan. They
Oh,
put me through you know, what's the word? They put the camera over your organs. They said they couldn't find anything. All my blood work kept coming back fine. Nothing. You know, I've talked to Matthew Morning. He said it might be liver and gallstones. So I did the liver flush. I did that twice. You know,
mhm.
the liver gallbladder flush. But then I actually lost 30 pounds because I was you know, I was having issues. You know, so I like, you know, dealing with the breakup and stuff. So but then I got motivated, and you know, I'm going to this conference in July, so I wanted to look half decent. So
Yeah.
I lost 30 pounds. The pain went away, but then it came back. But part of me is wondering, like, if that's like something from like taking opiates, like something in my digestive tract got messed up or something like that. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't know, or if there's an infection in there from something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just weird that it showed 3 months after the breakup. So it could have been a combination of things. It could have been something like with that. But going back to the opiate thing, it
Yeah.
makes me think if that has something to do with it. But
Absolutely. It
well,
was
hold on.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It was weird. Like I asked the doctor today, I said, what do you want to do? You want to do more tests? And she said, well, I'll do blood work. And she said, if your blood work comes back fine, then there's no reason to do any more tests. I'm like, I don't think that makes any sense because
Hmm.
like if there could be something in there that they're not seeing, you know? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't, you know what, Rob? I have such a hard time with the medical, everything that we have dealt with my mother and what I have experienced and what I have seen, the incompetence and just the things that they had. Like when I got into a little fender bender at the HEB parking lot and I hit my head rocked my head pretty good. They're like, we're going to take you to the emergency room. I'm like, no, you're not. I ain't going anywhere near there. So,
So you won't use mainstream medical at all, you're saying?
I mean, it's getting harder and harder for me to even want to go and be any part of it at all.
Yeah.
There's certain things I think that a hospital that they could fix, like your stitches, but I just feel like mostly everything else. Um, like for instance, my mom, I know, she's a paraplegic. She fell
Yeah.
60 feet over a balcony. So, her situation is a little bit different than other people's. Okay. So when she uses the bathroom, she has to actually do it herself. She has to stim herself. There's just certain things that she has to do that are a little bit different, but here's what they do. Oh, because you're a paraplegic, here, let me put you on this for pooping. Let me put you on this for peeing. Let me put you on this. All these different prescriptions, and they've got her tricked into thinking because she's a paraplegic, she needs all these things. And I'm like, I truly believe that, if you take care of yourself the way you are supposed to, get in your standing frame, lay on your back, you're not going to need all those prescriptions. You don't need that shit. Your body will do what it's supposed to do given the right environment. You just have to take care of your body, no matter if it's a paraplegic or not. And, the programming in her, it can be challenging because it's frustrating for her to listen to me about, my woo stuff. But yeah, that's just where we're at. And where I'm going with that is, yes, the constipation. She's been on oxycodone, or she was. We're no longer on those meds. But for a year, the doctor had her on these meds, and we were having issues going to the bathroom, so much so that her stomach was like bulging out. And we would ask the doctor, like we would tell the doctor, okay, we need to do something different because we're not going to the bathroom. This is causing a lot of problems. We've got to do something different. And for one, they told her to stay away from fruits and vegetables. I'm not even joking. She actually said those words.
Wow.
And then every time, we would talk to her about, listen, this is just here, just up your dose on lactulose. Oh, this is up. Okay. So let me up your dose on this. I mean, all these medications are causing another symptom. Right. But I think I've finally gotten through to my mom, that the body can do what it needs to do given the right environment.
Yeah, and none of these. I mean, you get into like the woo stuff that's like actually proven. Is like nobody ever told us about that the body can have parasites and heavy metals.
Right.
That we're finding out now. I've done a lot of parasite cleanses to try to get rid of like some stuff, and I feel like it's worked. But at the same time, too, like I feel like there's different ones I have to try too. So I know a couple people that watch my channel are really into like the alternative health stuff. Like, they do like the peroxide, they do the chlorine dioxide, they do all the parasite cleanses. Like I haven't got that hardcore into it, but I know about all of it because I talked to people about
yeah,
stuff.
I would like to do a parasite cleanse. I've never done a cleanse before. I'd like to do something like that. You said it was helpful for you.
Yeah, it was, but like still, like this pain exists. So I don't know. I was thinking if my blood work comes back fine, I'm wondering if this is something like esoteric or something like spiritual. Like if there's really like trapped energy in my iridium, because it's weird. Like and this is really strange. Like every time I get angry or I get triggered or I get like upset, it goes right to my liver, or I say liver, but that area, and it starts hurting. Like I'm like storing like anger there or something. Like it's very strange. Or every time I feel like I get hurt by a girl, because I've met other women after Nikki, and but like for whatever reason it hasn't worked out. I don't know why. I think most of the women I meet are like they're far away because I meet them through my podcast, but like and I really like this one girl a lot. She was from Boston, and it didn't work out. And what happened, like as soon as it didn't work out, like it hit right in my liver, like the pain. Like so, I don't know what that is. I feel like that's strange though. And I tried telling the doctor that obviously they don't understand that because they
They're
don't
not.
understand energy.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I feel like it's definitely energetic. I mean, I definitely believe that it's energetic. Have you looked into Margie K at all? I feel like she could possibly help you.
Oh, I've had her on my show. I should ask her. I should
Yeah.
ask her. You know what?
Yep.
Maybe I did ask her. I can't remember what she told me. I have to go back and watch it. But I'll feel embarrassed if I messaged her because I can't remember if I asked her. I should ask her,
Don't
but
be
the problem
embarrassed.
is like I never have funds to like pay these people. You know what I mean? Like it's like I
Oh.
don't make a lot of money, so it's like like it's like I'd love to try this and that, but it's like I never have like the cash to like do. It's like YouTube doesn't pay a lot at all, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I mean, but but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, but I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely look into more. I mean, if you're interested in that, so
I I am Margie. Margie's a really nice lady too. She's actually doing. She's part of that cruise they're doing. They're doing a I'd love to go to it. They're
I
going up
saw
to
that.
Alaska where
Yeah.
it's like the something like UFOs at sea tour or
Yeah.
something like that.
I
That
saw
sounds so
that.
amazing.
Yeah. I went to her conference last Thursday. What am I talking about? I went to her conference last October for my birthday. It was the first conference that I'd ever been to. It was real intimate, and it was such a cool experience for me because it was the first time since my awakening that I got to be around like-minded individuals. And it was definitely an experience that needed to happen before like the Journey to Truth conference or like this conference coming up, because I kind of needed to like get used to being around people again. Because I'm going to see you at the conference in like 2 weeks, Rob. I'll be there.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm super, super excited. Where are you staying?
I think I'm staying at the Serata.
Are you? Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So
Yeah, because I mean that's where I mean like yeah, it's that's what I worked out with Brian or whatever. I guess I'm part of the live stream team, so I'm
that's
gonna be.
awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
I'm a little bit nervous about it though, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know because I mean I just am. I don't know. I've never been to a big conference before, and like like I'm just like I mean it should be fine though. You
You're
know
gonna love it. You've never been to a conference?
I've been to like local ones here in Pittsburgh, but never anything like
That's right,
you know.
Rob, because remember last year, me and you were like, we're gonna go to that Journey to Truth conference. We're gonna go, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. You didn't go to the Journey to Truth, but we're going to this one. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think. Are you gonna be at the day at the beach?
No, I won't be there because I'm driving down with I think a crew of people like my friend Maya that does hypnosis
Yeah.
SOSQHD.
Yeah.
She's picking me up and then her friend Rachel's going to be with her and then there's a couple other people that we might pick up along the way. Like I know my friend Raw who comes on my show. He might be vending there, so there's a chance he could come and he might be driving with us and then. Also, Tommy Edwards, he's like the target individual that comes on my show. He used to play football for Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
He's might be going too. So there's a chance he could ride down with us. Now there's also a chance neither of them could ride down with us. But like because none of this is ironed out yet. The only thing I know for sure is that Maya's coming here from Vermont or whatever, and she's coming to Pittsburgh to pick me up, and then we're driving down to Florida. I think we're leaving like the 12th or the 13th. So I'll be down there
Yay!
like right down. It's I'm so nervous. Like
I'm so excited. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I'm so excited. It's okay, Rob. What are you nervous for?
Yeah, I know. You're right.
It's
Right.
going to be okay. If it makes you feel any better, I am rocket. I'll be the biggest goofball there. I didn't get to really. I had been like I went to the Journey to Truth conference, but I just really didn't get to be myself. I had just So I'm really looking forward to this because now I get to kind of really be my big goofy self around everybody.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really great. Like to
Yeah.
meet all these people and like it's such an insane lineup. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like the fact that Brian was able to put together this lineup with these amount of people. It's like unheard of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I didn't think I would be able to go, but I managed to. I managed to get away there, so I'm really excited. Well, Rob, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I mean, so is there? I really thank you. I really, really thank you because I know, especially in, like I said, in our community, it's just it can be a challenging thing that people want to discuss, but I'm trying to change that because we are healing.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did this so anybody that watches this and might have a different way of looking at me. I just did this so people can heal, and for the people out there that are all addicts that want to heal, that want to have a better life. Like, like, cause that's what we're all shooting for. And I hope nobody looks at me differently or,
Rob, if somebody looks at you differently, they need to point that finger right back at themselves because, honey, I have smoked crack. I have shot up heroin. I mean, I am not, so they can judge me. They can look at me because I've done it all. I've done everything you could possibly think of, but I'm here alive to be able to speak about it. So, and if somebody wants to make judgment, go right on ahead, honey, because
and
really,
you're amazing because you have like such a bright aura now. Like, like the fact that you were able to get past all that is amazing. Like I can tell you have so much like energy and it's all natural. Like you're like doing so well. Like it's really amazing to see how good you're doing. Like you're like
aw,
a really shining example for all of us. Like
aw.
it's really like a testament to your willpower. Like
Yeah.
it's really like it's a real. I would be really proud if I were you. I mean, like that's like amazing, man.
Thank
Don't.
you, Rob. I appreciate it. Yeah, I experienced all that. It wasn't for nothing. I know that I experienced all that pain to be able to help people in the face of their own pain. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I'll have to come on sometime and talk to you about my experience of my walk-in because there was just so much trauma there. And I just kind of started connecting all the dots of like when I walked in and like when I came in and I honor the soul that struggled, but I definitely am here to clean this mess up. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
So you're a walk-in. You're not the old Chastity. You're a new Chastity.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a walk-in. And this took place right after my chemotherapy. I mean, in a matter of a year, I had lost custody of my daughter, had a miscarriage, diagnosed with cancer and some sexual trauma in a matter of a couple of years. And so I was broken. I mean, I was so broken. And that's not to mention all the things that I had taken on before that. You know what I mean? So it was just a spiritual assistance. I needed, I had a little assistance, and I'm here to honor that and keep pushing forward. So
Yeah, you got to come on and talk about that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Do you have anything you want to share? Any wisdom you would like to share with everybody before you go?
I'm trying to think of the best. I don't know. I would just say everybody just hang in there. It's a rough world. It's not easy for any of us. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's going through pain. Just live your best life, and everybody try to put their best foot forward. And I think the world will guide us. I hope. I think
It will. Have faith.
You know.
I love that. Well, thank you for joining us today, Rob. I really appreciate it. And until next time, bye, everybody.
All right. See you, Chastity.
Bye, babe. All right. He left. Okay. Oh. Wait, what the heck?